afternoon, all my tiny humans. Today we are going to be picking up where we left off yesterday in reading. Yesterday we read about Donald Duck and the adventure he took with his nephews. Follow your nose, Donald Duck. We were able to see them go down a trail and see what they discovered, and then they had to find their way back. Remember when they were talking about the sounds that the waterfall was making? We're going to be investigating a lot about sound today. Sure, let's go back into the book and read what happened with sound. Huey, Dewey, and Louie scrambled up the hill, and down the other side, Donald followed. Soon they heard a strange noise. "That sounds like rain," Donald said. "It's a waterfall," said Huey. "I bet it's just beyond those trees." "Nah," said Donald, "that can't be a waterfall." They went to look, and sure enough, it was a waterfall. "What did I tell you, boys?" said Donald. "I always know a waterfall when I hear one." There was other things that happened along the way, but when they were on their way back, they heard that same strange noise again. With Huey in the lead, the hikers trudged on. Suddenly, Huey came to a halt. The others were caught short and bumped into one another. "Do you hear what I hear?" Huey asked. "It sounds like rain," said Donald. "And do you remember what sounded like rain before?" Huey continued. "The waterfall," Dewey and Louie chimed in. "That's right," said Huey. "We're still on the right path, and we're using our ears to stay that way." "I knew that," said Donald. So if we just close our eyes and listen, what are some of the things that we can hear? I know when we're in the classroom, I can hear footsteps in the hallway. I know sometimes before lunch, I can hear stomachs growling. It's kind of windy outside, so I can hear the wind. So let's talk about sound and what all the aspects of sound are. YouTube video in class that we watched that talked about all the different parts about sounds. In our experiment today, we're going to be talking about vibrations and what vibrations that certain objects give off that create the sounds that we hear. The reasons we hear sounds are because of vibrations. We're using our different materials and tools to design and build headphones that can hear the vibrations that different objects will create. Into groups of two, where each group has headphones attached to an object, and there's 4 different objects. We're looking at a fork, a spoon, a highlighter, and a coat hanger, a metal coat hanger. Is going to take a turn being the person who's listening and the person who is going to be tapping on each material to create these vibrations to see what kind of sounds that we hear. Ensure that you are bringing your science journals with you to your activity table because you're going to be taking notes during this activity, telling me all the things that you're noticing while you're experimenting. So I want to know what you hear when you listen to the coat hanger, when you listen to the fork, when you listen to the spoon, and when you listen to the highlighter. Because after this activity is done, you're going to come back to your seats, finish the worksheet, and we're going to discuss as a class everything that happened. Now, after discussing sound and experimenting with it, you understand it a little bit more. Sound is all around us. It can be loud, it can be quiet, and sometimes it's somewhere in between. Read The Adventures of Follow Your Nose, Donald Duck, and think about some ways that we would get back to camp if we were ever lost, like Donald Duck was. Use sound as one of your 5 senses to help yourself if you were ever lost or in trouble. I have a paper that I'm passing out, and I want you to doodle all of your ideas. We're going to be reviewing all of your ideas and talk about how we could make something that would communicate sound across the distance. Now, after this activity that we did today, I want you to think about how you would build something to communicate sound. How would you want sound to be heard for miles and miles? Create a device that you think would make the most sound. And tomorrow in class, we're going to dive into how we could create a device such as that.